Hello. So now that we have everybody in here, welcome to AnimeInkArt Live Talks, which is our IG live talk show where we talk to different creators in the community about their journey in content creation and how we can support each other better in the community. So today is a very special show because we have very special guests, Ozzy Oz the Virus. For those that may not know about Ozzy Oz the Virus, they are a graphic artist and creator. And as far back as 2009, far back as 2009, and when they really jump started their career in 2012, they've been running ever since. So for those that may know them from their early career, having music career, having their own studio, to creating cover art for different celebrities, to creating the Vyrus Studios, as well as the Vyrus brand, they have been, representing for the anime art and the regular art community in general. And they've been doing great work. So definitely once we get them on, we'll get it started and then go from there. Come on and join the live. If you guys have any questions for me, just as Anime Inkart and what the show is about, go ahead. If not, then make sure any questions that you have for our guests, make sure you put in the question box below. And yeah, we'll get it started. But if you haven't, guys, have any questions now, just let me know. Okay. Just making sure everything is good. But yeah, I'm glad that you guys are here. We're gonna have a good time. There's our guest now. So give a warm welcome to our guest, Ozzy Oz the Virus, an amazing graphic artist and creator, and they've been doing this for about 14 plus years. So it's definitely gonna be a great show. Hi, welcome. So I'm gonna add you in, and that's gonna be a great time. All right. So just send the invite. Hopefully, it doesn't take too long. Instagram's been doing kind of okay, but just send the invite again. And if anything, you can also send it just in case anything goes wrong. I know sometimes Instagram acts a little crazy, but Mhm. There we go. Okay, so I accepted the request. Hopefully, those what has to do. Apologize for any inconvenience. Hi.
How are you?
Good. We got it. We got it.
Yes, we did. We did.
How was your move? That's the first thing I was gonna ask.
I am still in the middle of it. So sorry for taking so long. It's been a lot of organization and moving around in the process, but it's going, pretty smooth. I can't complain.
It's okay. Don't worry. I know moving is crazy, especially with so much stuff we got.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a lot, but I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, of course. And again, it's a pleasure to have you and thank you for coming on the show. I really do appreciate that.
Oh yeah, no, of course, of course. Anytime I appreciate you reaching out, having me on your platform, and I figured, like let's make time and just drop some gems and just talk, anime and stuff, or whatever you feel you want to talk about.
Of course. And before I ask any questions, I just want to say, just from being a follower of you and just doing the research that I had to do, thank you for investing in your dreams and inspiring us. I know for me being an artist myself and having a brand and everybody here in the community really appreciate what you do. And I want to say that first before anything else.
I appreciate that a lot. I see a lot of comments. Shout out to everybody that's tapping in. I appreciate y'all. Y'all already know. And yeah, no, I'm trying to um build my career, but at the same time tell a story and share my experiences in the last 14 to 15 years of turning a hobby into a career. Because it's been, I don't know if we're allowed to curse, but it's been one hell of a journey,
No, you're
bro.
good.
So I've been just trying to navigate with it with all the experience that I have, but then also share and give the knowledge as I go. So
Yeah, that makes sense. And I wanted to start off with like your name and how it came to be because I was listening to some interviews and you actually shared like kind of like the backstory of it, and it makes sense based on how you adapt to your environment and each stage of your career. So for those that may not know that story, you can share it now.
Well, that's like the new thing that I've grown into the name now. It originally started as like a freestyle because I used to make music with my friends. And, I was just rapping with my friends for fun. And I said something along the lines of, I'm sicker than your highness. You can call me Ozzy as the virus. And at the time, it was just a nice, beautiful ring to it. And I was like, that's a pretty cool name. I'm going to run with this. And that was in 2010,
Yeah, that's
2009, 10-ish. So to run with a name for that long, it's always just been a part of me, just Virus. And then now, as I'm getting older and evolving in my career, and throughout all the stuff that I've been through, I've realized, okay, I'm really good at adapting to my situation off the strength of my art. It's almost like I can't, die off like a virus. You know what I mean? And viruses are very known for adapting to its environment to keep growing, and it's negative in that sense, but I'm taking that part of it and making it positive in my career. So, you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And you've definitely done that from the things that I've read. And I definitely wanted to take the time out because you're in another transition. Because I know you've had to do this at least like 4 times in your career, like you mentioned, like in your story. And I know it's like a good time now for people that are watching to get more of an understanding of why you're closing down the studio and what that means. And then we can kind of talk about, the beginning stages of your career and how you've pivoted and how that's helped. So for those that may not understand, because I understand from a business aspect where sometimes you need to liquidate and downsize in order to get to where you're going, because especially in 2025 some overhead cost is not worth it. So for people that may be confused, now is the best time just to explain because it's not like your art career is not gonna die. It's just a pivot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So for people who don't fully understand what's going on, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's more of a business adjustment rather than like a failure. I just kind of use that in like the post just to kind of grab people's attention to read. I'm not really considering this a failure. I'm actually considering this growth, you know what I mean? Growth and just evolution, Sometimes when you're uncomfortable in certain situations, that's your time to grow, and I experienced it, and I'm just trying to evolve into the next stage of my life. So to summarize it, the studio at the time of COVID, this is around 2020, it was a sign of um I need a space that I can have as a headquarters to have events and to also like have people come visit me because if everybody remembers COVID, people couldn't travel. Shows and cons were down. They're down for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Cons and shows at the time was a big part of my money because that's where I would physically go out to make money. Online was still good for me, but not as good as online. So to know that a good part of my income was, pretty much down just to this economical, things going on, I decided to invest my money and build a place where people could still visit, still shop, run operations, and turn it into a space where, okay, when this is all said and done, it can be a place where I can, still generate income. And now we fast forward 5 years later, shows are, back and running. People are outside now. My online store is growing. I have a team now, and now there's a lot more expenses on the line. And it's not that I can't keep up with it, but why put myself through the ringer to keep up with something I don't need?
Yeah.
So that's that is the quickest way I can explain why I'm closing it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I wanted to ask because you had the garage sale where, everything can go and people actually came out to support. How did that feel for you? Like it's closing a chapter, but how did it feel for you that while you're closing this chapter, you saw all of that support to help you get to this next level?
Oh, it's amazing. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. This is why being humble, being good to people on your way up is very important. Because when you have those moments where you kind of fall down a little bit, it's not, like a humiliating fall, but just when you're at a time where you need the support and help of people, this is where those actions of how you treated people along those years really come into play because let's just say people didn't like me, or let's just say if I was cocky or arrogant on my way up throughout all these years, and yeah, I would have not gotten, I would have not have received as much love and care that I feel like I have in this time. So to know that a lot of people still came out supported and, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna buy this, or yeah, I got you, I'll take this off your hands. That to me is a good reason why being, kind and open to the people who support you on the way up is very important, because the fall doesn't feel as bad when everybody's there to hold you up.
Yeah, and I definitely, because like this is like an important stage before I talk about anything else, I wanted to say like, so what are some of the future plans that you have now? Because I know like more conventions, being able to be more personal with people and go to that scale, and also to get your like you have your original anime, I believe, Addiction 48. So I wanted you to just share a little bit about like what's coming.
So this is, if there's anything I regret and I am hurting on the inside as an artist at this stage of my career, it's the fact that I did not launch and put this project out when I originally wanted to. I've unfortunately put it on back burner due to the years of just upkeeping with this and evolving this and growing with this, when I really should have been focusing on that years back. But everything happens in divine timing. So I'm more on the time like, you know what? There's a reason why it's playing out this way. So I'm trying not to be so stressed about it. But yes, I love cons. I love meeting people. I love seeing people enjoy my art in real time, in person. I love making content. I love making content in a sense where I'm collabing with people. And I want to experience that more. But it's so hard to do that when you have expenses here and expenses to get there. Those are some pretty hefty numbers when you combine them.
Yeah.
I am very ashamed to name some of the numbers that I have to pay just to upkeep. But this is why the growth is important, because I can shave off that weight to now focus more on that. And now with that being my focus now, whenever there's more free time and money accessible, I can finally sit down and finish writing my manga, drawing it, illustrating it, putting it together, and packaging it for the people that truly care and want to see what I got going on, you know?
That's true. And would you be able to share a little bit like what the plot was, or like can you not? I don't know.
Alright, so I kind of can't, because tell you why. It's not that I don't want to give anybody no exclusive drops. It's still a story that is still evolving and changing in my head, because I had the idea almost 10 years ago. But as an artist and a writer 10 years ago, so much has changed, so much has evolved, so much new inspirations, that it's almost like what I wrote years ago is not going to be the same if I tell you now versus when it comes out. So I found I'm kind of in a period where I don't know what to tell you, because there's so much new influence that's gonna.
Yeah, that's
So I kind of don't know what to tell you. But I will say this: is going to be a very cultural, impactful show. Meaning, I'm going to try to incorporate so many different walks of life, so many different ideas, ethnicities, storylines, backstories. That's more for our culture, and then pretty much the ideas that I've put into other people's characters. If you guys like what I've put into other people's characters, then you're gonna love what I put into my own. That's the most I can tell you right now regarding the manga for now. So I'm willing to. I'm ready to invest my life into this. So I think this is the best chapter, and I hope that people who are watching know, like, I'm dropping something I cared about for something that I need to love. So
yeah, that makes sense. I'm excited for it. So whenever we get more excited, thank you. And I actually wanted to start from the very beginning because you've been doing this for a long time. I don't even know if people know how long. Like from some of the things that I've seen, like the posts and like what I've read, I know on one of your posts, your uncle mentioned how you started drawing like from 3, 4 years old, but then you really got into it because you grew up in New York and you went to Elmont Memorial High School, and that's really when like you really went into your craft. And I want to ask about your style because not only do you have like the Easter games, the Easter eggs from like anime and gaming, and it's a blend, and just from your shading and everything. How long did it take you to find that style, and what was the journey to find that style? Because I know you've mentioned that it took a while and it took like studying people and then realizing what you had to do in order to get that specific style.
you're saying how long did it take? I'm sorry. What was like the short?
Oh yeah, how long did it take to find like your unique style that you have now? Because it's very unique, and I'm pretty sure it took years of just figuring out. everything to get it to where it is now.
Yeah. Again, I just want to shout out everybody in the chat. I see a lot of people saying Ozzy to go. I'm acknowledging everybody. Can't say everybody's name individually, but shout out to everybody that's tapping in. Thank you guys so much. To answer the question, how long did it take? Um, I want to say to get the basis of the style took about a good 7 years. It wasn't until 7 years in, I think I finally found a style that is very like, synonymous with me. And from that 7 years on, an additional 6 years has been just kind of evolving it and just turning it into something where it's like, yo, this is Ozzy. And I might not be able to get any type of legal copyright on this style, but I've tried my best to coin it to where when you see this type of look, you know it's Ozzy, and anyone else that follows suit or copies or
Mhm.
this is Ozzy's,
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely understand that. And I mean, I can't speak for anybody else, but it's just like anytime I see your artwork, because I live in New Jersey, so I know that you park near one of the stores in American Dream. Yeah, cheers. And that was like my first experience with your art. So I'm like, oh my God, this is art. So definitely it's like anywhere I see your art, I know it's your art. So you definitely have like perfected it to that level.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I've tried to expand. My career has really been nothing but trying to change the narrative of a starving artist and really trying to dig deep into what it takes to monetize off of, what I love doing. And I think that's my whole story. Like you can turn a hobby into a career, into a passion, or into something where you can, eat off of it essentially financially rather than like you make amazing art and you don't really benefit off of it till you quote unquote die. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
um yeah, nah, I don't wanna fall into that category. So I am taking every day that I can to show that it is possible to enjoy your flowers or it's sorry, enjoy the fruits of your labor while you're alive.
yeah, that's
That's my
true.
whole that's my whole mission.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And one thing I love is like throughout your career, like you've been able to give back to your community, give people opportunities, to whether it's their art, whether it's for their business. You've been able to do that for a lot of people. Even as far back as like after graduating high school, you gave scholarship opportunities to the art students at the high school, and just from all the different creators that you've platform to help promote your brand for Vyrus graphics, and then everybody that you've hosted in the studio. And I want to ask, like, even since like back in high school, was that always a plan to just give back to the community once you got to a certain level?
I think it's naturally in me to give back, and I'm gonna explain why. I know what it's like to not know where you're going. I know what it's like to not have anybody like there to like kind of tell you where to go, especially when you feel like you're in such a unique lane. You kind of feel alone when it's like, yo, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know who can help me get there. So I think what I'm trying to do is kind of be the person I never had for someone who I know needs it because that push and stuff can help, catapult your career a lot faster just with some knowledge or just with some insight or some help or assistance or advice of where you're trying to go. So I'm trying to, like I said, in a lot of ways, change the narrative, so that artists can monetize, so that my artists can eat, so that artists can survive, and so that artists can help one another, you know, with what they love to do. So when I did that for the school, I'll be honest, I have not done it recently. These have been a lot of years of growth and elevation. But when the time is right, where it's accessible and it's easy to do so, yeah, I'm definitely giving back some more or donating some more for artists who need it.
Yeah, of course. And we do appreciate you for that. Like it's been in every part of your career. So I appreciate it. And I just love that you do that.
I
And
appreciate that.
yeah, no problem. And well, yes, I like giving people their flowers too. So I definitely that's
Yeah, we have to. We have to. We're only alive but so long. We're only around but so long to hear it or feel the love or just feel appreciated in general. So I am very big on giving flowers. I've also, made it one of my own things to where like whenever I see someone doing something amazing, whether I just DM them or message them or comment or tell them face to face when I see them at a con, I'm not just gonna look and say, "Oh yeah, I like this stuff," and not say nothing. No, speak up and say something. Let that person know that you appreciate what they do, because we only, like I said, give us so much time on this earth to hear that. And when you're like in the grind and doing stuff day to day, you're not thinking about how much people you're inspiring. You're thinking about how to get it done. So to hear that message from time to time is very crucial and important to somebody who's in the middle of it.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And I wanted to talk about this topic because I wanted to see how like you navigate it as an artist, and it's a thing that happens with artists when it comes to stealing other people's work. So I want to ask for you, like, I know you've mentioned it, but I don't know if like people understand the gravity of the situation. So just to explain, like, what you were going through in that moment and how you've been trying to navigate it now, because I know like on your website you have all of like the brands now, so that people know, like, listen, like, if these brands are not like, don't engage with these other brands, that they're not actually an affiliate and like doing it the legal way.
Yes, I had to. I was forced to do that just to get that message out there. I'm gonna be extremely honest. It was one hell of an adjustment to understand that people are so inspired to the point that they're willing to just kind of steal and copy blatantly. It took me a long time to get that. Okay, this is just off of sheer inspiration rather than being offensive. I took it offensively at first because I wasn't sure of the intentions. I don't know if you were trying to fool people that you came up with this, or you were trying to insinuate that this is your style, your signature, knowing damn well you kind of got it from me. I can still feel that way. I'm not saying I've changed a lot, but I've been a little bit more accepting to the fact that no, I've been in this game doing this same style for about 14 years. It's so good that people just want to do it. Now, my only rebuttal to these people is that if you want to be great, don't imitate.
Yeah.
Sorry, if you truly want to stand out and you truly want to be known in your field for what you do,
So,
or
don't worry.
or a tablet, she yeah, whatever I don't answer, she just keeps calling. She doesn't know that it's an accident. Hold on, let me let her grandmother know that I'm on the live real quick. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good. Proper things happen, don't worry.
Yeah, she's just on her tablet, just calling me away.
She's like,
Yeah, he's like, Daddy didn't pick up. Let me call Daddy again. Daddy didn't pick up. Let me call Daddy again. I'm like, okay, I got you. As soon as I'm done this interview, I will speak to my daughter. But sorry, back to what I was saying. So that it offended me at first, but I want them to know, like, hey, if you really want to stand out, if you really want to be somebody that people respect and give you the credit as somebody who came up with something, is I highly suggest locking in and figuring out a style that is so unique and undeniably great that people can just make it, you. And then you come out with your business plan and your whole branding that revolves around whatever that said style is. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, yeah, I just feel like people should really try to figure that out first before they just kind of come out on the internet just saying, hey, this is my art. No, figure out style first, even if it's not fully developed. Just get something that resonates with you first, and then kind of build from there. Rather than, oh, I like what he's doing, I'm gonna just copy that word for word, bar for bar, line for line.
It's
I
crazy.
don't suggest that. I'm really big on, hey, let's try to figure out something that's us first, and then we come out.
No, yeah, of course. This is just, even for me as an artist, it's just like you spend time on this stuff. Like, it's not just
And it still feels disrespectful to just kind of copy it line for line and just post it, because it's like, I know you're inspired and that's great and all, but we want to see something that feels like you. We're all
yeah.
drawing characters and stuff that's not ours, obviously, but when I look at this character in your style, I want it to feel like it came from you, not who you saw it from. That's all I be trying to say. That's it.
That's true. And somebody asked about any dates on your comic box series. I just wanted to make sure their question got answered.
I'm assuming they're talking about shout out my boy Mina, shout out everybody, shout out Ludi, shout out my boy Lucky Dude. I'm seeing some of the names pop up. You know, I know there's a lot more. Appreciate everybody that's tapping in. I really do appreciate this. Um, if he's talking about addiction, you know, just to rephrase what we talked about,
Mhm.
there's not much of an update because I spent so much time away from it working on this. But now that I'm closing this out and shaving off the fat that I don't need from this, I can put more time into that. So I hope to say within another year there will be an immense amount of progress from it, you know, from today, now that I have the time to focus on it.
Okay, that makes sense. And I wanted to ask about like the LSD collection, what inspired them. And what I love about the LSD collection that I already knew prior than like researching is just that like that's one of your favorites I've heard because like you get to just go crazy and that's where you add most of the Easter eggs. So I wanted to ask what inspired the collection, how has the impact been since making the collection, and the Easter eggs, like how like what be going through your mind when you put all these things into your own.
So, LSD was created or started around COVID. It was around the time we were all in our house, all trying to figure out, all right, we're home now, like what can we do?
Yeah.
And outside of the Virus graphics collection already existing, which is, you know, the collection where I'm just drawing the anime characters as themselves,
Mhm.
um, LSD was more like, okay, let me just do what I want and what I just feel like doing because Virus graphics is more like, okay, if this anime character is hot and trending, I gotta draw it to sell it. Or let me go back and draw some old school stuff that people would appreciate seeing in a more modern style. LSD was none of that. LSD was more like a, hey, I got this a little bit of an idea in my head, and I really just want to kind of see it come together because I know we would never see it come together from the original IPs. So like, why not create these amazing snapshots of art of IPs coming together that we would never see in real life? And the ideas were just so fun and fluent still back to back that I was dropping a lot of bangers that were like, wow, this is an amazing photo of something that we would never see. So I have a very special place in my heart for LSD because it's like truly what I want. And nobody gave me any ideas. People
Yeah.
gave me some little insights here and there, but
Mhm.
it's like if Virus Graphics is considered like I like to relate things to like the music industry.
Yeah, you're
Vyrus
good.
Studios is like my mixtapes. That was
Yeah.
like my albums where it's just truly everything I felt like doing. It's all me, you know, like I came with this concept, this idea, these colors, this vibe, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And actually, I was gonna touch on the music career because I feel like it's very interesting because like not only did you start the music career, you had your own studio, then you went into photography, then you were at Universal, then you started it. You have your hand in everything. So I wanted to ask when it came to the music, how was that experience for you? Having your own studio and getting to do the music, and then how has those influences inspired your art in a sense?
The studio was a great time. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't have like no high end state of
Yeah.
the art studio at the time. This was like a little, you know, hey, we gonna make this work kind of studio in my mom's basement in New York in Queens, Long Island. So it was fun for the time because I took the basics and I made, you know, some pretty good sounding records at the time. I didn't have the high end equipment, but with the knowledge of equalizing, mastering, and just doing a bunch of sound stuff, I was able to make something that, you know, a little closet with some foam sound pretty decent, you know, not maybe not full industry radio standard, but decent enough to where if you heard it, it was a decent track. So that was a fun period with my friends and clients at the time, just coming in and we just making music or recording and engineering. I got to know what that lifestyle was like. And from there on out, I just kind of evolved into other things. And I think the thing that made it so easy for me is as a creative, when you know the tools that give you the outcome of what you want artistically, you can never forget the tools. The tools will always help you get to what you want because I'm creative enough to know how I want it to look or sound. So that's why video editing comes so easy to me. Recording comes so easy to me. Music comes so easy to me, and art, because it's like once I understand the tools and I know what I want it to look like or sound, it's fluent from there.
Yeah, that's very true. And actually, when it comes to the photography and the videography, like I I could tell that you had that skill, but then finding out that you did, I was like, oh, okay, it makes sense. And I would be like, how have you used that in terms of like your content and like virus graphics and like the studio? 'Cause I feel like how you said you like the small details. I could tell like you have that background because being a videographer and photographer is like you pay attention to the details. I just want to like give you the time to be like, how much do you pay attention to the details for people that may not already know that?
Yeah, no, I'm a very detail orientated person, almost too much for my own good, almost to the point where sometimes it's annoying wanting to put in so much detail because it takes a little bit of extra time. It's an extra step in the process of creating because you don't have to do it, but you love to know the fact that you did it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
Yeah, that's very true. And I actually want to talk about the trading cards because those are very popular too. I know when I went to BlurCon, I got one. Shout out to you and Biz. Those are so good. You guys are so kind. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
And
no, shout out that nerd named Biz, man. He's one of the coolest people I've met in the last couple of years of my life, like a brother to me and now like a business partner. But we have been kind of locking in on trying to turn this art career into something that is profitable, manageable, and also just laying down the blueprint for what I feel most artists who have that spark in their creativity and who they are as a person to go this far. Sometimes the right people in your team can help elevate your career. Sometimes just having amazing art is can be more than just seen to just your eyes. It can be seen to the world. So shout out to him, man. We came together, we worked on these cards. It's been about a year and a half of them being in production, and the feedback has been great. People are enjoying it. They're loving it. It's gold, it's metal, it's going to last, it's not going to get damaged. Um, they have serialized numbers to them, so now you know how much has been in production. There's so many great values of the cards right now that I think because me and him put so much effort into it, that's why people are enjoying it.
that's true. And actually, I'm kind of curious about like that process because I know like you have different influencers that you made the cards for, like RDC Road and stuff like that. What are some of the things of the process? 'Cause I know it takes some time, like to get these cards out and like serialize everything. Like, what's the process of like making the card like start to finish? I'm kind of
Um,
curious.
and they don't take as long because I guess now from it being about a year and a half of working on it, we've figured out ways to make the process quicker and easy. Um, Obviously, they start off as metal. They get melted down and turned into your traditional TCG card format. So, that's one way they get, made into their shape. Then I'm already taking art I've already created too.
Yeah.
So it's just formatting the art to look a little different for the card version. This is like my hint to you guys as people who are fans of the art that the art on the card will always look a little bit different than its original print because let's say if you're someone stealing, if
Yeah.
it's exactly how I posted on Instagram, then it's not
Yeah.
legit. This is kind of like my one ways to verify that this is a real virus trading card because it's going to be different than just a screenshot off of Instagram. So I got to put that extra step in to make it different. That's mandatory. The serialized code, makes it synonymous with the image. And we print. It's UV printing. I don't know much on UV printing. I just know it gets the job done. I know it's this big jigsaw machine that just, glides across, making all the art. Don't ask me nothing on that process. I just know I pay for it, and once it's done, I get my cards. They're minty, you know. And we just package them up and we just ship them out to people. We put them in packs. People can open them up and never know what they're gonna get. People win prizes from the cards, so they get free merchandise from the shop, or from the website. So it's been one hell of a fun project. I enjoy it. I'm so glad we got into it.
Yeah, that's true. And I actually wanted to ask about like the appreciation you have for your fans. And some things I've read is like one reason why you got more into conventions because it helped you meet people on a personal level and it kind of gave you more confidence as well during a period of time where like your Instagram account had got hacked and then hoarding. and you're getting like some online like I guess like hate, but like after doing the conventions and being out in person, it like boosted you. So I want to ask like, was that relationship, what does that mean for you over the years, or like when you first started?
Um, first started of like what, just going like meeting groups.
Like on the conventions and like doing events and getting to meet people in person.
Yeah, that was a big learning curve for me because to be honest, and I know that most artists can relate to this. Sometimes we're not the most social. Sometimes we could be very antisocial, and I'm very social if I know you. I had to learn how to be social with people I don't know. I
Mm.
have to learn how to be more open to people who I've never met and enjoy something about my art and how to talk to them, hold conversations, and be more open to that. That was not something I was good at in the beginning. So the
Yeah.
con space was a little alarming for me at first because I didn't know how to speak about my art and talk highly of my art, or just the basic salesman things, and not even just sales, just more of just being an immersive person when people talk to you. So the con space has definitely taught me how to do that because with repetition, the brain is a muscle. You just start learning and you get used to it over and over. So I've been grateful to go to so many cons, meet so many people, connect with so many people. Like I said, shout out to everybody that's on the live. I see everybody. Shout out Jump Raw, that's my photographer right there, still is. Um, Shout out Taco Noir, great person I've collaborated with. Shout out Ludi again. Shout out Loyal Eric. There's so many people that's just coming in here that I'm seeing real quick. So but this is where it comes from. Just going to cons and meeting everybody and just, you know?
It's true. And suck.
Of course. Yeah, leave it up to hobby, man. Yes, my OnlyFans is going crazy. I made $1 million in the first hour. I don't need to draw no more. Yeah, screw all this shit. Yeah, I'm on OnlyFans now.
Okay. And I was gonna ask also, how does it feel that like your artwork is like not only different states, it's becoming like almost different countries? Because you got to go to Montreal. And I want to ask, how was that experience for you?
Yeah, that was great. And actually, we're actually going to London soon. So that's my first time in London selling artwork. So yeah, we're finally going full on international. I ain't gonna lie, we've been international. We've been shipping to other countries and cities and provinces before, you know what I mean? But now we're actually going there. So it's been great. No, it's been amazing to see that people in other countries, resonate with art the same. Not to say that I don't think they wouldn't. I'm very confident in my art. I know that they would. But to see that love in person, in a whole different place far from home has been it's been pretty cool. It's been pretty cool. So London is coming up soon. That's gonna be fun. Montreal was amazing. Shout out to everybody in Montreal and in Toronto. They are, huge advocates of my work. So that's been dope.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know I have to bring up like, the coloring book collection, like how that came. I know you have your daughter and like, just being in tune with kids and what they want. So what inspired the coloring book? Like that.
Yes, little Miss Harlow Wallace, my daughter, she said she wanted to color my artwork one day. Then I was like, I mean, it's already colored, mama. Like, how do you expect to do that? But then I really sat down and really thought about it. I'm like, okay, I can make a black and white version of my artwork for her, simplify the image so she can process what she's coloring a little bit easier. So I went from making like one or two of them pages for her to like a little prototype book with about 10 pages to, okay, let me put this into a full production book. And just doing the research, making the connections that I've had and reaching out to people, I was able to get a couple samples, found the best sample that came out the way I want it to look. And now here we are, full in production. People have been buying it. I sold out the pre-orders. I got a little bit more now in stock. People are still ordering it. So it's been great.
That's awesome. And also, the amount of things that like you've created with your art is like, for me, it's crazy. I'm like, yo, that's it's crazy. Not only do you have the cars and the clothing and stuff, I want to actually talk about like you being able to like have it on different bags and collaborations, like with Milani, being able to have it on a Taco Noir in their mystery box. Then you got the Corvette going on with the wrap and like. even the PS5. So like with all those companies, like how does it feel like for people to reach out to you like, yo, I want all these things. You even had it on the air fryer with
Hey, yeah, sometimes I just be like, hey, we gonna do something that the world's never seen before. Like, screw it. That's what we on today. No, that within itself has been it's been fun to know that anything that is up here can eventually come to real life. That to me is my superpower. And it has been great to know that I can think of it and I could wake up the next day and actually make it happen. So, with all those things happening, well, that's for the stuff I wanted to do, like the Corvette and the air fryer and the PS5. The collaborations, on the other hand, have still been more like I'm grateful. I'm honored. I feel like it is what I am deserving of to know that people value the artwork so much that they're like, hey, we need to work with this guy. So shout out to all the collaborations I've done. Shout out to all the ones that are in the future that's coming. I'm always ready to collaborate. You know, Ozzy, you can't go wrong with Vyrus art, man. It's been years. It's still here. And I'm not going nowhere. So as long as I can still create, we're still gonna make fire art that the community can enjoy.
definitely. And I had a question that asks, where does your inspiration originate from?
Uh, Pop culture, graffiti, hip hop, um, myself, and fashion. I think those are the best ways to explain, the virus style. It's a little bit of all that stuff put together because when you take the best parts of everything that I just named, that this is what you get, this type of art.
Yeah, that's true. And also, like been no stranger of like talking about some of the lessons you had to learn along the way in your career, like some things you might fall short on, but you pick yourself back up. That was one of the reasons why you made, this shit ain't easy, the podcast. So I just wanted to give you a chance to just explain like what were some of the lessons you've learned that really like got you to where you are now? And then what inspired the podcast that you guys had a few episodes on?
Yeah, by the way, shout out to everybody who's been watching the podcast. We're not done. Just because the studio's not here doesn't mean we're not gonna shoot. I still have this cool little amazing room of in my house. We plan on probably shooting some of the episodes up there. It does look like the studio space, just my room, like like my little man cave. So we're gonna
Yeah.
continue to shoot some episodes in there in the next coming weeks. But yeah, the podcast was inspired because, like I said earlier, I'm trying to give out the message and share the blueprint for what I'm currently going through and what I've been through to people who are trying to do the same. So with the posts that I've been sharing about the wins and the losses and that this shit is an easy podcast, it's more of like an avenue where I can vent slash explain slash educate people on what's going on, what has happened, and what's to come when it comes to my career. And I just expect the viewers and the watchers and the readers to kind of just pull what is important to them from that or pull a message that they are supposed to be resonating with so they can use it in their career.
Yeah, that makes sense. And one thing that you've touched upon, like in the just in general, like throughout your stories, but like recently with the articles, is something I resonate with. Because when I first came on here and like promote my brand, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta be a content creator. I gotta make content on top of the art. And it was kind of wholesome to know that you felt the same way and you explained that.
Absolutely.
So, I wanted to hear from your perspective, like, why did you hate it at first? And then what did you do to like be the content creator, but like, still enjoy the art or just show people both? Because you're now I see like you're really getting into it and really, having fun with it. But
I hated it at first because I felt like I had to do things that was against, my morale or what I feel is comfortable for myself just to get some views. I think Instagram's or most social media's algorithm is kind of trained to push, I wouldn't say negativity, but like the over the top things that catch people's attention. It's not even about the talent anymore. It's not about the content. It's about how much can this content keep somebody on our app so we can charge people more for ads to make money. It used to just be about connecting with friends and family. Now it's about business and ad revenue, which is fine. This is what apps eventually do. This is what businesses eventually do. They kind of, bring you on here for free, let you have fun, and then they switch it to their true business model, which is down to money. So I felt like with that being a change in the, years of Instagram, it has been something that's made it hard to, your natural content that resonates with you and your fans to see, unless you're doing something off the wall to get that engagement up. So I kind of hated coming to the reality of what Instagram used to be to what it is now. It was a very hard transition. It is still hard. However, I've done enough studying, research, hundreds of failed attempts to realize that I can still be me and still create content that resonates with me and still show off like my art,
Yeah.
you know? And I think I found a nice little niche of what works and what gets me some engagement. I might not get a million views every time, but I'll make sure I get a couple thousand to where a good majority of the fan base, on the algorithm sees it. And I love it. I, lo-
And
I love what I turned it into for me. I still hate it, but I love what I've turned it, how to make it work for me.
of course, and you know which two costumes I'm gonna ask you. I hate the pimp Iron Man and the pimp.
Oh yeah, let's go.
How did those come to be? The helmet, like it just be going crazy.
You know what's so crazy? That's actually gonna be one of my next articles, or things. I wrote a whole thing of how that idea came together. So I'll just tell you, I'll tell you before you actually read it. But um, no, it is what it is. I love Iron Man. He's my favorite hero. You know what I mean? I don't know why I like him. I think I like him more for his personality than his actual like powers and abilities. The suit is cool, but I really just like the idea of Tony Stark of how he is. I feel like he's like my spirit animal. So I like him for who he is. The tech is obviously cool. Um, the funny twist about it is I wasn't gonna go out my way to get the whole suit.
Oh,
House player, and I wasn't gonna go and spend that much money or create a whole suit. So I said, I'm gonna do the next best thing, which is wear a suit that matches the vibe of the helmet. And then I'm like, dang, I like the color pink. And with pink, pink and purples are synonymous with pimps. I like a pimp named Slipback from Boondocks. I have Pinky from Friday. You know what I mean? So when you take the three of those things, a pimp named Slipback, Pinky from Friday, and Iron Man, and me, this is what you get. Pink Iron Man. So it was a fun cosplay. And the alternative cosplay too is a pimp named Chopper, which I just, put on a wig and a chopper hat. So and they went viral twice.
yes. So, and I think I forgot. Did you do the Iron Man one at BlurCon or was it the Chopper? I can't remember.
I did both. I did both. I did both. So when I go to cons, you're gonna expect both cosplays because it's just a simple, helmet change. It goes from taking off the helmet to putting on a wig and the chopper hat. So, but the outfits were the same. The fur, the pimp cane, everything pink, even down to the cane, even down to to what people saying they're calling my lemon pepper steppers. Even down to the shoes is pink. I got the same specific color pink to match the helmet, suit, cane, and shoes. Took a lot of effort. So yeah, you damn right I was going viral. Like we was not gonna overlook any of these efforts.
That's hilarious. But no, like you did your you did your big one with that. And
Absolutely. Thank you. We get it, Jer. Yes.
and I wanted to ask when it comes to investing in yourself and believing in yourself because from what we know, you left your McDonald's job to do this full time. I just want to ask, like, you do so much things, how do you try to balance? But then at the same time, um, how do you deal with like those burnout periods to keep pushing?
Oh yeah. Quick thing. Shout out again to my boy Jump Raw. Yeah, he's in the comments talking about all the other products we did. We did so much other amazing cosplays for sure. We went shopping to get it, picking out the right colors, taking the right photos. He's a big part of the articles that I'm posting now. I gotta start. I'm sorry about this hobby. I just got so inspired. Create. I gotta tag him and show him love because he's really, the main photographer for those articles. So I'm gonna go back and show him love on all those posts and the ones to come. How to get that out there. To answer your question, how do I deal with the burnout from all the different things I'm doing? I still get burnt out. However, I've learned to take it easy
Mhm.
pace myself, and also to simplify the process. The more you learn to simplify the process, the better you can, uh, or the better you can output. When you're thinking too much or you're overthinking too heavy on it or you're trying to do the most sometimes, that's where burnout starts. You're trying to upkeep or be consistent with something that's not sustainable. And I think I finally, out of all of these years of creating content, editing videos, marketing, posting, I think I finally found a system that works for me. So not say that burnout isn't, not gonna happen, but because I cut back out so much extra thinking, it's been easier to post. As you see, I've been very consistent with my articles back to back. Why? Because if you look at my page, right, I got all my carousels lined up with one. I got all my videos lined up with one, all my individual pictures of my art lined up with one. So that cut out, you know, posting anxiety where it's like, hey, what do I post next? A character, a reel, a photo. No, I'm sorry. I hate overthinking. I hate thinking too much about it. I like when things is pretty easy and laid out for me. So I came up with that layout to automatically know what I gotta post. Now I gotta think. It follows a routine in a sense. So now I think I just posted some videos today. My next post should be an article. I don't gotta overthink it. So that cut that out. Now from that, the carousels, what kind of carousels are doing good engagement before just be artwork, before just be random, slides of things. Now it's the articles. They've been getting great engagement. It's easy to write about my life and what I've been through because it's all real. So cool. Now that's easy. Videos, I know that, cosplaying, showing off my engagement with my fans and followers. I got tons of videos of those. Cool. Be posting those all the time. And the last slide, my art. I make art every day, all day, every day. So that's easy. So I've learned to figure out a routine that is very easy to digest mentally to where now burnout is not impossible, but now it's less likely to happen because now I know what I'm doing.
That's true. And one thing that I know can be validated as an artist when different people in the industry, and for you, it's been in different parts of the industry, whether it's the Twitch community, gaming community, animation community. Congratulations for like I am Carl Jones for, the Boondocks, the
Oh yeah, shout out to him.
and the art from all the artists that either like reposted art like Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Migos, getting commissioned by Chris Brown and Gucci Mane, and just recently with Kai Cenat and then even Agent. I want to ask like how have you felt just being able to interact with all those people and those people just reposting and being like, I see you for what you do. Like how has that been over the years?
It's been amazing because with the power of social media, getting to these people is not as hard as it once used to be to get out to celebrities. Before you had to know somebody, a manager, PR, to get to these people. But now with the power of social media, sometimes all it takes is a couple posts, clicks, shares, mentions, or just finding the right person who's connected to the right person to get it to the right person. So I'm just grateful to be in an era where that is a lot more accessible to do. It just takes a little bit of digging and researching and work and, persistence to make sure it happens. So with that being said, no, it's been great. And I'm nowhere near done because, I know my art's gonna speak so much volumes to these people. So you just gave me an idea. That's actually another article. I need to show off all the people who have collected Ozzy art. That's gonna be the next one. How I got my artwork to all these, gamers, celebrities, and YouTubers. So thank you for that. So I'm just always thinking of new things to write about to post because
I'm glad I could do this.
yeah, no, that would be a great, read, But anyway, that's how I do it. I just take advantage of the power of social media. We have a lot of information at our fingertips. My father always told me that growing up, like you can literally look up whatever you want and find whatever information you want. You just have to put the effort in. So I put the effort in, I get the numbers and the connections that I need to, and you just do it.
That's true. And I know for us as anime fans, sometimes getting to meet some of the voice actors behind our favorite characters is already exciting. For you, however, you've been able to work with some of them, and I think the most wholesome relationship you have is with the voice actor from Gohan.
Yeah,
Steph,
that's my auntie right there.
she's been on the podcast. She comes to the show sometimes and signs some of the artwork. I kind of want to know about the relationship because it's very sweet to see. And she's very supportive of the Blur community and us. Like she follows a lot of her, keeps in tune with us. So
Oh yeah, no, auntie is definitely invited to the cookout. I gave her pass. She's valid. No, shout out Stephanie Dolly. That is like legit. Somebody who I've met in my art career and one of the first voice actors to truly embrace me in my art in the beginning.
Mhm.
And she just played such a legendary role that it was just so like starstruck to me. Like, oh, you like my art? And she just appreciated the style. You know, we do business together. We tag along at cons with each other if we can. Um, and no, she just feels like a family member that I just, happen to know to be a role of a very iconic character in my childhood. So she is amazing. Nothing but love and support to that woman. I'm so glad that she got the chance to be Goku Daima again. And sorry, Kid Goku in Dragon Ball Z Daima or Dragon Ball Daima. I don't know what else they have planned for her, but if they can keep implementing her into the role of Kid Goku and Kid Gohan, whatever they do with their franchise, I, as a fan, would love to see her continue doing that. So, shout out to her. Um, yeah, we just met at a show, we kicked it off, and just kept in touch since then. Sometimes that's just what good energy can do. You know, it can get you in touch with the right people, and you build networks and connections with amazing people. Sometimes.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, that's very true. And it is nice to see, and like even like the few interactions I've seen her with like just the fans is very wholesome.
Yeah, no, that is a very humble, down to earth lady right there. Like, I've met a lot of people who would be the complete opposite of what she is with what she's done. And she's nothing like that. You would think that she has not played this iconic character. She's just a normal person, not say off the street like that, but just a normal person, just in everyday life. Like she hasn't done something iconic. So to know that she is still very humble and just very open is it gives me hope for humanity that people can be great people. Sometimes it's almost great to meet your heroes. He is the embodiment of the opposite of that saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. And you was busy this year, man. Like that contour that you had in the script. So I had to bring that up because you went to DreamCon, you went to like Kamehameha Con, you went. There's like six or seven. I mean, whatever, back to back. So
Back to back.
you and your team, you and the Virus team, and that nerd named Biz, y'all went to all these different cons. What inspired you to do that? Um, what did you do to recover? How was it?
Well, the honest answer, if I'm gonna be very, very transparent, and this is nothing against, any of the companies I work with. So, this is more of just explaining what actually happened. I worked with a lot of companies, and you're probably familiar with them, where my artwork was sold on plexiglass. Shout out to both of those respected companies that I worked with. I used to save money by traveling with them to the shows on their behalf because they would have me come out as a signee or a special guest to their booth, sit there selling my art. So I saved a lot of overhead costs and traveling costs by going, under their booth. I ended my contracts with them, for reasons that I don't really need to explain, but reasons where, okay, if I'm no longer traveling with you guys to shows, I still need to be outside going to shows. So that's where the personal investment has, came in. Where okay, I have to put up my own money to go, which I was used to before at some point, but I took a little break working with them. But now I'm back, in the field doing it myself.
Mhm.
So with the contract ending top of the year, with signing up for shows, you kind of have to look for shows almost a year and a half before to get a good spot. So I was in a position top of this year where, okay, my contract ended and I don't got no shows. Where am I going to be this year? So I decided for whatever I could take. And we had a month where there was literally, uh, back-to-back shows.
Yeah.
And it was a very strenuous process, I'm not gonna lie, from
Yeah.
traveling to road hazards and things coming up on the road to repairs to inventory to paying employees, managing income and profit and loss every other day. And
Mhm.
it was crazy, but I learned so much. So much. I've got a chance to connect with my audience and people who appreciate my art. So it's been amazing.
That's
Overall, it's
true.
amazing.
That's true. And I didn't want to ignore Dr. Kewin because for people that may notice like at a convention, I think he may have noticed at FX. If people go to conventions and they see art is being stolen, what is the best course of action to informing you and your team? So that
The best course of action is obviously to inform me if you can. Send an email to the Virus Graphics team or to me directly. I check my DMs very often so where I can catch these things. The next course of action would be us reaching out to whoever runs that show to let them know, hey, this vendor is unauthorized to sell Ozzy as the Virus art. Or if you want to go out there and be a artistic vigilante for us, just let them know that, hey, I think you should look into this vendor. I don't think that they work with this set artist. And I think between somebody in the attendees letting them know and versus me letting them know, it actually makes the reason more it gives the reason that they should be leaving the show, more validity. So to it's really scare I'm sorry, I don't know how to say his name, Dr. Quinn.
yeah,
To,
I
to
think
oh yeah, shoot me a message. We can talk after my after the interview. Give me some time. 'Cause I'm in a process of a lot right now. We can definitely talk about whatever you may be going through with the same vendors that I'm going through because it is something that we need to all come together and take care of. They are out there stealing. I know I'm not the only artist, and we need to address this right away. This is not something that we should just let them keep profiting off of.
yeah, that's true. And one question I ask is about supporting the Blur community. I ask the question, what do we do well to support each other? What can we do better? And based on everybody's experience, they have a different answer to the question.
I think the Blur community needs to. It's a lot easier said than done. I think the Blur community needs to really create some type of network or platform where we're almost like a very positive
Mhm.
TMZ about what's going on in the Blur community. Like everybody has their own little platforms where they talk about news, but we need like a real solid, strong, um, what's the word? Verified or why is the word escaping me right now?
It's okay.
It's a word basically like they're just certified in their information. It was just there. I thought I'm tired. It's been a long day. Um, why is the word slipping my tongue right now? You know what I'm trying to say. They just their information. Sorry, credible. There we go. Very credible source in the Blur community that can give us information, promote positivity, updates about what everybody in the Blur community is doing, or bad, if we need to know about something that's going on, you know. We need some type of network where we're all just like tuned in, almost like a TMZ or like a shade room, but for the Blur community where we could do that. I feel like if somebody can create that, we all come together and create that, that would be great. But if we're talking about us individually, we need to show each other more love. We need to repost each other. We need to acknowledge each other more, comment each other's posts more, engage more, because we have to uplift ourselves so the algorithm knows that hey, this is what people want to see. So if we engage with it, they'll push it.
That's true. And I want to ask you, how was it for you growing up, liking anime, liking things, all things nerdy and drawing, and then how much of a like full circle moment, like, oh damn, like this is like so drastic, years later that you're doing all of this. How was it growing up for you?
Obviously, I've had the stereotypical background of liking anime at a certain time period where it wasn't cool. It was nerdy. It was taboo. It was for white people or only Asian people at some point. You wasn't supposed to be black and into this stuff.
Yeah.
We've had a rough time in the early 2000s enjoying what everybody here can and just casually enjoy today. So we definitely crawled with no arms and legs so y'all can walk. So you know what I mean? It's been one hell of a transition. But no, I'm not a hater of today's times. I'm actually really glad that it's something that is normal now. I'm glad that I can create a career and build a name and create a brand off of something that was once taboo. I'm glad that we could sit here on live and that people tuned in to even care about what we like to do in regards to anime. So it is an amazing time to be an anime fan right now. I hope it continues, and I just love the fact that it's here now. So it's cool. It's the wave now.
That's true.
It's about time. It should have been the wave now a long time ago, but it's the wave now. That
I feel like you're helping with it too. So hey, I mean, like,
hey, listen, you got to make it look cool. It was never lame to begin with. Y'all just wasn't tapped in to know how to make it cool. So yes, we need people like me and other people in the community to show, hey, this can be some of the coolest shit you ever, locked in on.
yeah, that's definitely true. And you're a man of so many things, and you just be grinding. So, but I still gotta ask,
Go ahead.
what are the goals that you have? Because I feel like you said, you don't have like a. I'm trying to think like an anime reference. Like you don't have no limit. Like so, that's why I like asking you this question.
So I'll give you the honest answer to that too. There was never really a blueprint for my career. Like before I'm doing what I'm doing now, I thought like the biggest you can be as an artist, as so just from young, was being in like New York City, just sketching people like in Times Square. I thought that was like the biggest it can be. Like, being like 8, 9 years old, that to me was like, oh, I'm in the city drawing people and making money. So now that I'm finally in 2025, this is before understanding technology, social media. Now that I'm finally in real time of the times, I kind of don't know what to expect. I don't know where it's supposed to go. But I will say this, I am day by day just doing what I love and getting paid for it. So it's almost like hey, like I'm just kind of enjoying how it's playing out, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to everybody still in the chat. Shout out Devontae Sennis. Shout out Ludi again. Shout out my boy Eddie Kane. Shout out everybody, man. Y'all really tapping into this line. I like this. This is dope. This is the type of love that we need. And you know what I mean? Absolutely. But I didn't know the blueprint. I'm really just kind of flowing with it. I'm just going with the wind.
No, yeah, that's true. And it's only you're only gonna go up from here. So that's definitely an honest answer. I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah, nah. And you know what? Sometimes when you're not like thinking too hard of where to go, it makes your day by day a little bit easier because you're just so excited and just open for what's to happen next, you know? I do suggest having some sort of structure, some type of goal and plan in mind, but I'm at a point where, hey, I'm just enjoying the ride.
That's true. And one of the things I was gonna ask is about your consistency. I know on your YouTube channel you have like a documentary talking about that and like how you keep up your consistency. But for people who may not know like how much you be locked in. Cause
Oh,
I've seen where like, you're talking about like being like drawing for like 4 7 hours, or like being in the studio when you're in the studio for 10 hours. But like let people know how much you be locked in because there was a period of time in your career where you were like, you didn't go out as much. You're just honing your craft. Like just let the people know like you're really about
yeah. Hey, listen, when you got some goals, you got some serious bills on your belt. You got people that are depending on you, people looking up to you. That type of stress, um, that type of stress kind of forces you to, hey, like I have to, like this is do or die right now. Like there's a lot on the line, so it's kind of not like I'm locking in because I want to. I'm locking in because I have to. So with those things going on in my life now, a daughter to feed, a team to pay, people looking up to you, it's like I got no choice. I really don't.
Yeah, that's very
That's all I
true.
can say. That's all I can say when it comes to that. I have no choice. It has to get done.
Yeah, that's very true. And one last questions I'll probably ask you is how has this journey helped you, whether it's spiritually, mentally, or just improving your skill set?
spiritually and mentally, it has taught me that I am capable. I'm very much capable. Honest background before, getting into like the business part where I have to like lead and tell a team what to do, show them my expectations, have expectations, um, split the personality of being, the fun boss and the serious boss. I wasn't really good at like managing and leading and doing all of that stuff. I kind of had to like learn like, okay, there's a time and place for everything and how to adjust. And the journey so far has taught me that I can do it. You can go from not knowing something and not being informed on how to do something to knowing how to do it. And may not be the best at it, but you're good enough to where you get the job done. It's very possible. It just takes a period of locking in.
Yeah, that's very true. And again, thank you so much for giving me your time. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. And I just wanted to give you a chance
Yeah,
to
most definitely.
plug in like everywhere you want people to follow you, know what's coming up next, and just to keep up with you.
Most definitely. Thank you so much for having me on your platform. It has been great to talk about some serious things that I feel like people need to hear. I hope this is recorded or something, right? To where you could make clips out of it. Okay, let's make a lot of good clips out of it. Let's take some of these gems that, people did not get a chance to tune into live to and see it and repost it. Um oh, just to answer some of the questions. Oh yeah, hey, listen, partner, we can make a new box soon. We could definitely make a new pink Ozzy box. It has to be pink. Cherry blossoms all over the place. The octopus, fighting or dancing or partying with the chibi Ozzy. We could do it. I'm with it. Um, Plugging in, obviously, Ozzy Oz underscore DAVYRUS. Check out artwork, check out plexiglasses, posters. We're adding credit card skins onto the website. A
Oh,
lot of people been because this is like a product that you have to kind of get from the trading card packs or get in person at cons. They've never been on my website. They're about to be on my website for the first time in a few days. So hopefully by this weekend, the credit card skins are available. You can finally upgrade your credit card skin to an Ozzy Virus skin because credit cards nowadays, if your bank is up to date, they're putting the information on the back, which leaves the front very bare with nothing on it. So that's where we come in. We're gonna give you a nice skin to upgrade your card. So credit card skins coming soon. Plexiglasses are now available on the the LSD website. Um, yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to say. The work speaks for itself. I'm so glad people are tapped in. I'm reading some of the comments. Ozzy work is something that you love to do, and you must love it. Keep it the good work. Thank you so much. Um, I love doing what I do. Am I going through some serious times that's kicking my ass right now? Absolutely. But guess what? We still, you know what I mean? If the first don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. You know what I mean? We are still here. We're still shaking and moving. Ain't nothing stopping it. So
of course. And before I end the live, I just have to shout out Ludi for just even recommending you to come on the show. He really has been supportive of me in doing this. And for people that don't know what I do, hi, my name is Lizzie. My brand is AnimeInkArt. I have my art here. Some of support. The big one is mine. I kind of bend in the tri-state. I traditionally draw and then digitally edit. That's my style for now. But also, I do cosplay for the merch and in general. Shout out to Taco Noir. I've been able to do a lot with him. I was the cosplay model in February for my cosplay is black, and I've also was one of his characters in the New World Institute of Magic. And shout out to Blurs Unite for giving me the opportunity grant. And so I've, throughout this process, thank everybody that supported me in any way. The show is just an extension of me supporting creators over the years. It was called Anime Ink Art Black Brand Spotlight, but then it kind of turned into this because I just wanted to be more personable and give back to the people that supported me and platform more people. So that's where this show is. So definitely, I do a lot of things, so
nah,
definitely
and that's great. I love that. I wish we had more time to talk, about what you do, but platform you speak about it. So hey, listen, we're here to share it. We're here to engage with it, and we're here to push it because we need that.
Yeah, of course. And check out the broadcast channel, check out the link tree. Everything is there, and we'll have more shows. Thanks to you guys in the open call. Whoever wants to be in the show, hit me up. DMs are always open, very communicative, and it's just a process. So definitely, thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a good night, Ozzy, and have a good transition because I know you're still it's still going through right now.
Yeah, it is a lot. It's a lot, but hey, we're gonna figure it out. We got nothing but time to figure it out, so that's what we're gonna do.
Of course, and yes, the I usually keep this live up first. So for those that weren't there in the beginning, it's gonna be up on this page, and we're going to make clips before Ludi kills me. Gonna make
Yes, yes. Clip of the best parts, clip of the parts where we drop
yeah,
gems.
and it's gonna be yeah, it's gonna be on the other page, which is the Anime Inkart Live page, and it's gonna be on the YouTube channel. So just give me some time. It's gonna take a little bit of time, but yeah. Then thank you
All
guys
right,
so much, and
let's
have a
do
good
it.
night.
Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. Appreciate y'all.